Okay guys, we're going to work on a simple jump animation for this ball rig. Jump is actually something quite easy to do if you understand how to manipulate curves. It's going to be a simple one, it's not going to be a straight through with lots of poses. It's going to literally be, we're going to strip it back to pretty much three keys, and then obviously add any kind of anticipation or any action afterwards. So I've got the little ball here and he's jumping. I'm just going to delete that particular animation on my layer. So we'll go into parameters and just get rid of all them. There we go. And jumping, it's really about the curves if you're not a seasoned animator. And you know, I know some animators who just work the way through the acceleration, the deceleration. But if you're just learning, then we can look at curves and we can understand them. So if I create a ball and I say, okay, put my auto key on, I want the ball to be there at frame 0, I want it to be up in the air at frame 10, and then I'm going to copy frame 0 and put it at frame 20, just so it goes like up and down. Okay, now the default curves on this are relatively smooth, so we get something like that, which doesn't look like it's bouncing. So if we grab the keys and just go into the curve editor at the top, and just have a look at the Z position, you'll see that we've got some curves that represent the acceleration and deceleration of the ball, and you can see that it's gradually accelerating as it goes up and gradually slowing down as it comes down. So you know, if a bouncing ball is doing this, you know, it's not going to look like it should. So what we need to do is change these, and we can do this really quick. We change the first one, and we've got some presets at the top, and we want it to be a fast tangent, so it just straight away and then slows down. And we want the last one to be fast as well, so it builds up speed and then it suddenly stops. And if we look at that now, you can see the difference. Okay, let's just play it again and again. So it's really about getting that right within the rig itself. Okay, but let's make this. Let's do like 30 frames maybe, just so we can see some frames. I'm just going to hide my triangle. So it's really about getting that in the rig. So let's put a new absolute layer on and play. And you could put a floor in just so you can visualize the floor, but we'll leave it with this. The first thing I'm going to do is put myself in a pose. Okay, now we can go back later on and do some anticipation if we want, or we might do some with this. If you do decide to put the anticipation in first because it helps to visualize it, then what I would do is just do like 5 frames or something so it doesn't throw you completely off. Or you could go into negative frames if you wanted. So we'll do 5 frames, so we'll say always get the beginning pose first. So his beginning pose, I'm just going to have something just a little bit different from his rigged pose, his modelled pose, just like this. It's a little bit more natural. Okay, and then on frame 5, I'm going to bring this down, and all the way down as well, just and possibly I don't know, it depends on the rig. We'll just do it down on the Zs to make it simple. And we're going to leave his feet there, but we are going to key them. So we're going to go key and key, just so we know that they're there on frame 5. And then we're gonna go. We're going to probably do 10 frames for the jump. So I'm going to go on frame. Actually, let's do. Yeah, let's do 10 frames. So I'm going to go frame 15, so that's 5 plus 10, 15. So I'm going to say, I'm going to chuck that all the way in the air. Now, yeah, because he's got IK on his feet are going to stretch out a little bit. So I just want this pose. It's a bit high, but we are exaggerating. And then on frame 15, we're going to put his legs up as well. And all we're doing is posing what he might look like. Now you could do this, you know, some weird pose, some really exaggerated thing. Let's do something like that, yeah, like that. You could even stretch it out, but let's just leave it simple for now. Don't do too many rotates. And we can make this make sense in the in-betweens, but at the minute we just want that. So we got, he goes down and then he comes up like this. Yeah, and don't worry if it looks completely wrong, because we're going to explain that. So 10 more frames. So frame 25, he's going to be back on the floor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy frame 5 or frame 0, it doesn't matter, of his feet first. So I'm just going to copy that, and that's the frame that tells me that they're on the floor. So they're like that, on the floor. And his pelvis, I want him to land straight like that. So I'm going to copy the pelvis 5 frame as well to frame 25. So we should have this. Now it looks completely wrong, absolutely completely wrong, but that's alright. First off, we're going to fix the curves like we did with the box. So we're going to go into our curves for the pelvis first. So I'm going to grab the curves and go into my Z position. Just have a look what they're doing, and you can see that there's he gradually goes into the anticipation, and we can see it down here. Okay, that's fine, but we want him to go up fast and then come down, and come down fast as well. So we changed these two like we did with the box. So you have something that looks like that. Okay, now let's have a look at that. Let's have a little play. There we go, that looks much better. Okay. Now we could do that with his feet also, because the same is happening to his feet. So we'll just do it with his feet. So we'll just grab them, do that, and we'll grab the other one. Now you can do all these in one instance of the graph editor. I just keep coming out of it for some reason. There we go, and we can see what difference that makes. Okay, we got some interpolation here with this key. It's trying to find the best route because we've got no in-betweens. Okay, but the overall gravitational motion is there. That's good. Now obviously we've got to address this beginning problem, and what's happening is his feet leave the floor at the same time as the pelvis, which doesn't happen. What happens is the pelvis leaves first and then the feet leave later on. So what we're going to do is grab the foot keyframe, and we're just going to move that in. Let's say 2 frames for start. So it only starts moving then. We'll do frame 8. So what's happening is it only starts moving at frame 8. So what you do is you get this kind of weight behind it like this. And it's as simple as that. Now it's the same when he lands, but it's the opposite way around. His feet are going to get there before the pelvis. So again, we can manipulate his feet rather than the pelvis, because we like the pelvis movement. So his feet are going to get there before the pelvis. So we're going to move these in, say 3 frames. There we go. Boom. And it's as simple as that. And then we want a little bit of kind of, he comes back up on the pelvis, maybe frame 25. Oh, not frame 25, maybe frame 30. Did it like this. You can even copy frame 0 because that's where he is in frame 0. So we've got this lovely jump. Okay. And it's as simple as that. Now if you do want to change some things, like this foot is kind of, it goes up and it does something cool, then you're looking at your in-betweens. You're looking at, maybe I want it to go like that. So when he gets there, I don't want it to go straight back because that's a little bit unnatural. I want it to kind of fall maybe this way instead, like this. And you see I've got my paths on. So he swings his leg in, and we can key that round so it's a nice circular motion. And we can look at the curves for this as well and just... Now none of this is natural, it is a ball. There we go. And then we could do this as well, so it's more of a circle. But then you got to watch his knee. And this is what you're doing when you're animating now. So we're just looking at some slight in-betweens. So we've got a nice arc going on there. Now, if you do have motion paths on, you can actually edit the path in the key. You can actually move the curve, which is quite handy to have. There we go. Hope that helps. And what we'll do is we'll cut it up and we'll put it into a game engine.